Evil Dead, Rise from the Ashes, written by Arkansas Ash.
Chapter 5. I awoke in a haze, my mind fuzzy and drifting like the autumn leaves outside my uncle's window. The familiar scent of cedar filled the room, a bittersweet reminder of childhood memories spent laughing, wrestling, and exploring. Yet, as I pushed myself upright, panic hit me at once. I could still feel the chill on my skin from the cold grip of death, the cold grip that had almost claimed me. The lights flickered overhead, casting shadows that danced ominously across the walls. It was too quiet, too still. My heart raced, a storm brewing in the silence, until I spotted Robert sleeping peacefully at the edge of the huge bed. I laugh a little when I saw this. It sort of reminded me of the time long ago when we were kids, that he came into my room one night when there was a thunderstorm. Robert was afraid of thunderstorms and thought it would be a good idea to sleep next to me to ease the fear of the storm. "I see you're awake, Ash," said a female voice not far. I turned to see who it was. A few feet from the bed was a fireplace where a roaring fire was light, giving out a bit of a glow, and a woman sitting in a chair, cleaning what looked like a shotgun with skilled precision, the metallic scent mixing unnervingly with the air. "Oh, by the way, you're welcome," she said with a smirk on her face. "Thanks," I said, a bit confused and trying to remember who or what the woman's name was, but it wasn't coming to me right away. "You forgot my name, didn't you?" She raised an eyebrow. "You screwhead." The moment she said screwhead, it clicked to me who she was. Lucy Campbell, daughter of Alistair and Summer. She was the tomboy in the clan who looks for danger and eats it for lunch. Or was it dinner? I forget. God, is my mind going as well? I hope not. "And I thought you had the balls of an ox or bear. But I can see yours is chicken size," she said, mocking me. "What did you say?" I said, a bit peeved of her talking about my manly hood here. "You heard me," she said, getting up from her seat, and began to walk towards the bed. "Savior of the world, my ass." And with that, she turned to the door and left, slamming it so hard it woke Robert from his slumber. "What the?" said Robert, rubbing his eyes. Then he looked at me. "Ash, thank God you're okay." What in hell is going on here?" I asked him with questions filling my mind. "Well, the family lawyer almost attacked you when Lucy pulled out her shotgun and shot him in the head. Then she muttered something like, 'Deadite,'" said Robert, answering one of the questions. "Deadite? What is a deadite?" I said, a bit nervous something was not right here at all. "Well, I didn't know what it was at first, but later on, while you were recovering, I went into the family library and found this," Robert replayed, as he leaned towards the ground to retrieve a book and began to flip through the pages. "Ah, here we go. A deadite is a demon who possess the body, living or dead, and cause the harm to the living with it unnatural powers of evil. It is summoned by reading some passages from the Book of the Dead." "Wait, the Book of the Dead?" I stopped him as he said those words. Something crossed my mind like something from long ago. "Yes, the Book of the Dead, I heard about it long time ago myself," Robert continued. "There was a professor that I did a paper that I did. What was his name? Something flashed in my mind for a few seconds. A room with a table and what looked like one of those old vintage Panasonic reel-to-reel tape player my dad had long time ago on top playing, and a voice came through. 'This is Professor Noby, Department of Agent History.'" "Noby," I said, out of the blue. "Right, but how did you—" Robert looked at me in a wired way. "I don't know, it popped in my brain for some reason when I said those words. Weird. Anyway, from what I heard, he found the book with a dagger at—" He went on, but I cut him off once more. "The Kandarian Castle Runes. as I said it, slipping out. Yes, said Robert, now a bit consired something was wrong. Ash, did I ever give you a copy of my paper long time ago? I don't think... Then it happened. And this time, as if flashes of light dances in my head, I could see a young girl dancing with a necklace around her neck. Another girl in a torn nightgown telling me something about the trees. A guy walking away from me, saying he was leaving and to deal with something. A guy in overall jeans calling out for someone's name over and over again, and another young woman with pages in her hand saying something, and then, out of nowhere, a dagger with a severed hand stabbing her in the back. Ash, are you a light? Said Robert, trying to get through to me but couldn't. I heard screams in my head of people dying and strange voice like a record over and over saying to join them. Another flash appeared as if I was being dragged to a huge monster that was about to eat me. Then a roar filled my ears. A roar, what sounded like a chainsaw. Ash! Ash! My name repeated over and over again like a record, but I ignored it. Annie! Cheryl! Linda! Scott! No, stop! Please stop! I said. My mind was racing now, and so was my heart. What is going on? What am I seeing? Then without warning, something slapped me hard across the face, waking me from whatever it was. I felt the sting of the blow as I turned to see Robert standing next to me, rubbing his hand. Sorry, he said, feeling a bit scared. I didn't know what to... It's okay, I told him, taking deep breaths to calm myself down. I'm all right. Are you sure, Ash? Robert asking again. I'm fine, trust me, I am, I said to him, a bit relieved. But still the nagging feeling wasn't too far, not leaving my side for some reason. Okay, said Robert, picking up the book once more to read from it. As I was saying, these demons can be summoned if you read from the book, and once they are unleashed, well, as you might say from one of your films, game over. Game over? I said, lighting a bit. That's a laugh. Ash, get serious on this. These monsters can take over your body doing unspeakable things. Think of it like zombies, but having the COVID virus 10 times worse. Robert explained as much as he could to me what these creatures were. Okay, sorry. From what you described to me about them, that's not good at all, I said, the feeling creeping down my spine. Indeed. Anyway, I found out our clan had dealt with them long ago, he said to me. What? I little course. Yes, it seems, said Robert, thumbing thought the page. Back in the 1300s, this thing's appeared and was causing some problems until one day, something happened. A man appeared from the sky, from what I can tell from another time and place, to save them from these monsters. This man was supposed to be what I can tell, the chosen one. The moment he said those words, another flash appeared of the same girl who got stabbed, holding a page that looked in a man, what looked like he holding a gun, and raising on top of his head, and on his other hand was a chainsaw? I can hear her words whisper in my ears about the page, the same words Robert said earlier. Chosen one? Yes, this person was to stop the evil and bring peace, which he did. Robert said, reading a bit more. He showed the people how to defend themselves, and shared knowledge that was not invented yet, like gunpowder. Can you imagine something like that in that time?
Yes, sounds like one of my films way back when, I said, sighing a bit of the good old days of being a young actor, learning new stuff to make the audience to stand and cheer me on for me to do more for them. But that's long ago, and in the past. Wait, earlier, Marcus said something that he was supposed to be this chosen one. What the hell was that?
I don't know. I'm still looking into it myself, and I have been asking the other members of the clan, and they only gave me a little information about it. Maybe it has to do with that box that Uncle Angus left you. It might have the answers, Robert said, looking at me. Maybe, anyway. Whatever happened to this professor? I asked Robert another question, trying to change the subject a bit. No one knows what happened. Last I heard, he went to his cabin in the woods, in somewhere in Tennessee Hills, to research the book. But I do remember a news article. Something happened one night around that area. From what locals said, something bad happened. The police and even the FBI was involved with it, and words can't explain what happened. Convince me, Robert, what you read. Well, the article said there was strange noises, lights shooting from the sky, and when the cops invested the area where it was, they found nothing, as if was swallowed up. Weird, isn't it? So you're saying the professor's cabin and everything around it was swallowed up by some strange voodoo hoodoo stuff? Maybe, but I don't know. I wanted to check it out for myself, but something came up, so I asked Lucy to do some investing and, well, you can ask her about it, and boy, she has a tale to tell, he said to me while closing the book in his hand. It can't be that bad, is it? I said to Robert. Well, that bad, huh? Yes, said Robert, a bit nervous and concerned. But still, I would have loved to gone up there and maybe asked you to come along. No way, Robert, I said to Robert, shutting him down. But it would be a great adventure, just the two of us, like when we were kids and all, said Robert, trying to convince me. Robert, I'm sorry to burst your bubble. That is a long time ago, I told him.
Okay, said Robert, a bit upset, as he walked over to a small table in the room. On that table was a box, the same box that Uncle Angus left me in his will. He picked it up and walked back towards the bed. Here. He handed me the box, and I took it from him as I looked at it. You didn't look in it, did you? I looked at him. No, I didn't, he said, as he fished out something from his pocket. It was a small key and handed it to me. You need this to open it. Thanks. Taking the key from him, then I looked at him again. Are you sure you want to know what is inside? No, I want you to see what's inside before you show me you don't want to ruin the surprise in all, said Robert, giving out a little laugh. Right. Robert smiled a bit and began to leave the room. I will be back. I just need some ice for my hand in all. Okay. And with that, Robert left, leaving Mai in the room with the box that Uncle Angus left me. Thank you, Uncle Angus, I murmured. What see you left me? I turned the key in the lock as it made a soft click as I opened it inside, and what was inside I would never believe until now.